Are we live? Excellent. I think we're live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right. So let's get started, shall we? Today's just another typical kind of hangout. I am in a very good mood. It's been a very beautiful day today. Oh, it's very warm. It's a nice warm 70 degrees Fahrenheit here in Michigan, which is very unusual for the time of year. Had a good workout in, got some caffeine in my system, and even went to an amazing Mexican restaurant in the area owned by the aunt or the tia of one of my friends. They're having a fundraiser, so we went there. It was so good. But let's get started, shall we? And today, I don't really have a plan. Today is just gonna be the usual, as you guys know. Just gonna be kind of hanging out, answering questions as they come up. In the meantime, I'll try writing something fun, something interesting. Yeah, if you guys got questions, let me know. All right. Start with, let's just do something super simple, shall we? You know what? I've been thinking, let's actually end this one. Instead of a usual cadence, let's do a heroic cadence, is what it's called. Heroic cadence is when you take a sus chord, you go sus4, sus2, and then it leads back into the 1. But we're going to leave this on a half cadence so that when it loops, it works really, really well. Flamflammery, welcome, my friend. Welcome. Good to see one of the usuals. All right, so if we're going to do one of the... Let's just keep sticking with it. Let's see. All right, excellent. So we got our chord progression. Let's do an F. We'll just do a very simple, basic, bare bones chord bass line. It should be an A, not a G. So let's bring that down here. Let's bring this in a little bit more. Yeah, it's been a very good week so far. The live stream earlier in this week went really, really well. Honestly, like the members only live stream this week, if any of the channel members are on here, I think one of my favorite live streams I've done in a while. I had really good energy, discussing bass lines and creating creative ideas. It was a lot of fun. Definitely what I think was one of my favorite live streams in a little while. Let's see here. How do we want to do this? Should I do... You know what? Let's just listen to this real quick. Douglas, happy Friday, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Let's add a little energy to this next. Let's chop this up a little bit. All right, welcome everybody. Don't forget to like the stream. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. That does wonders for the algorithm. YouTube loves to see that things are going well. Let's start off with a perfect fifth. Let's do sentence structure. So we'll go, what I'm doing is I've got a 2-measure idea. Sentence structure says repeat the same basic idea with a little bit of variation as necessary to remain to still work with the underlying harmony. And then it was... So we go up, up again. So, you know what? Based off the chords I have, it would actually probably work better to have this be period structure, which goes, come up with an idea, come up with a new idea, and then repeat the original idea. This is A minor. That would be... Let's listen to this real quick. Jack, hey, how's it going? Thank you. Yes, 6 years. can't believe it's been 6 years of this channel already, right? All right, so we've got, let's stretch this out actually a little bit. We've got a very basic idea. Let's do a very simple arpeggio. Then we'll do eighth notes. And then, so this is our rhythmic idea. So let's repeat our rhythmic idea over here. And this is sounding a little like, I would notice it already sounds a little bit like the Superman theme. So I don't want to have it be too similar to that. Let's see. Let's do a C, yeah. Let's do large leaps here. Let's try eighth notes again. And then let's change this one up a little bit. Douglas, you have jammed a lot of content into here. Yes, yes, I have. How many videos do I have? Let's find out, shall we? YouTube Studio, content, video. Do I have like a count? All right, so I have about 246 videos. And how many live streams? About 136 live streams. Wow, I've done 136 live streams? That's insane. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I love what I get to do. And it's a lot of thanks to you people that I just get to share and geek out with this kind of stuff. Y'all are being pretty quiet. Right now, I'm just decided to write a little bit of a heroic theme. And just have a little bit of fun with it. Anyone got questions? Any requests? Feel like a bee with there. And then this, I messed up. That's not supposed to be changed yet. This is, however. And then I think GBD. Let's change this a little bit. See, would it work better as an eighth note? All right, something is getting chopped off here in the chords. That's annoying me. So let's go to 1, just quantize everything. I don't know why Cubase does this. Oops. Cubase has been doing this a little bit lately. Where when I plug it in, things are just a little longer than they're supposed to be. And then let's let's see. Should we repeat it? Should we go bum ba da da dum, or should we go like? So I'm asking basically, should this be an arpeggio? Let's leave it off the first one for now. Douglas, to avoid sounding like Superman at the beginning, what if you put the first note up an octave? Ooh, let's try that, shall we? I feel like Hmm. If we do that, I feel like I'd want to change the motif entirely. Because look at the motif. Remember, if you're an old school member of the fan, or if you've seen my playlist on melodies, one of the things that works really well for melodies is that at all levels, there are these things called local peaks. Usually, it's a high note. So right now, we have it bookended by the same pitch on this motif. Whereas if this is down an octave, then it has a nice rising shape from the lowest to the highest. And they don't always have to be that high. For example, like here on this motif, we move down, then back up. But ending and starting on the same exact pitch for the same motif, it can work. But for whatever reason, I just don't think it works well for this personality. What happened if we change this around a little bit? That sounded a little better, I think. What if we started with the E here? I think it's a little bit better. I do like that. I do like that initial pitch. And then let's drop this down a little bit. An appoggiatura. An appoggiatura is when you take a note, you leap back down, and then you go back into it. So leave a note, leap past your target tone, and then get towards it. If that makes sense. All right. Oh, we're getting lots of them. All right. So let's see here. All right. Awesome. So Jack says it doesn't sound like Superman. Thank you very much. Flamery, random question. Not really as a composer, but more of a performing question. Oh, I am not a performer, but I'll see what I can do. I was recently given a piece to perform, piano, but it's very modern and I don't really like it. Any suggestions? Unfortunately, not. I'm not a performer in any sense of the word. I used to. The instrument I was most skilled at was trumpet. It's what came most naturally to me. I haven't been able to play trumpet in years, though, because for a long time I've been kind of living like in apartments and townhouses and like shared walls. I'm finally in an actual standalone house, so I can start practicing again, which will be really nice. But no, I'm just not a performer in general. I would say if you're struggling to enjoy the piece and it's something you have to, one thing that you can't go wrong with is just studying the piece and the history of it. Learn more about the composer, learn more about the story behind it. What was the intention? I find context. Context helps breed understanding, which breeds likability. All right, if you understand a piece of music a bit better, if you understand who wrote it and the reason behind it, chances are you're going to feel more attached to it. And that'll help give you, it'll also give you more information on the performance itself and like how you should perform it. But again, I'm not a performer, so hopefully that helps, but we'll see. Tamashi, hey, welcome. How's it going, Tamashi? Douglas, yes, it would need to change more of the theme as well. Yeah. Tamashi, where are you streaming from? From my new office. I have moved locations. I haven't left the city. Just got better rent going on now. Let's see here. Film Family, it amazes me how fast you can make a sketch like this. Thank you. It is very much practiced. Yeah, I think we were just saying, like, we pulled this up because someone was asking, Douglas was talking about how much content I made. This little number down here, I have streamed about 136 times on this channel, which is crazy. And through those streams, for the longest time, I think I was the only composing channel that did live streams. Now more and more people are starting to do it. Zach Heidi has started doing live streams. Venus Theory does live streams. A lot more people. I think Venus Theory has done live streams a little longer than other people too. But I believe at one point I was one of the only channels that would compose music live. And there's definitely been some embarrassing moments. There have been some embarrassing moments where I tried to compose something, it just wasn't happening. But for the most part, having to go live once a week or so sometimes more often than that, has really forced me to get very good at sketching ideas. And just so that's something I could do in my sleep. I still think. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you something. 29,886. We are so close to 30,000. Now, I've been floating some ideas about how to celebrate 30,000. Yes. I know some of you are already going to bring it up. I will do the tortilla video. I have no idea how it's going to fit on the channel, but I'll make a tortilla video. I've already got plans for it. Should be a lot of fun. But I've got other ideas like musical related. And one of them I would really like the idea is having a challenge where I sketch 30 different melodies like this. Basically 38 bar melodies. So melody, chord progression, and bass line. 30 of them in 1 hour. And each of them has to stand alone as a decent melody, as something workable. I think that'd be fun. And I think I could do it. I think I could do it quite easily. I probably wouldn't talk a lot during that live stream, but I could do it. What if I did triplet quarter notes? That could be fun. It's a A minor. Let's just do it. No, I don't like that. The rhythm, maybe. What if it was a walk-up? Nah, I don't like that. The quarter note triplets just ain't it. I think that's it. I think it's gonna be a melody. And now I want some kind of rhythmic chords underneath it. Maybe with how fast this is going, and since people don't seem to have a lot of questions, maybe we'll even kind of do a quick, brief arrangement of it, like orchestration. The two G's evoking the Superman rap a little bit, yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Yep, something like that, yeah. So it does sound, it's the triplets. Bum, da, ba, ba, bum. And yeah, there are a couple things that sound, but it's not that noticeable. It's like the two G's, Jack Less, and the big band. Yeah, Jack is one of the old, like, the old G's of the channel. Jack remembers the big band stream. That wasn't that long. That was like a year ago. That wasn't that long ago. No, there have been a number of live streams, especially back when I had like topics. Because a lot of you will remember the live streams I used to do where I would come in with a lesson plan. And I would come in with like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. I would do polls ahead of time for what you guys wanted. The idea of the lesson plans at one point was just kind of live lessons for free that you guys could request on Instagram what you wanted me to give a lesson on. And there were a couple of times, because today I feel great. Today's awesome. Wednesday was even better. Wednesday's live stream was probably one of my favorite live streams in the past year. Just in terms of like how the energy I was feeling and how well it went. Wednesday's live stream was channel members only. It is up, so you can $5 a month. You get access to all the live streams. We are going through my textbook on composition, one chapter at a time. And this week's lesson was about bass lines and chord inversions and just creating cool bass lines. It was a lot of fun. And like today I'm feeling really good, but there have been live streams in the past where I was just wiped. I was just tired and I just wasn't feeling it. And so there have been live streams where I got on to teach something and it just wasn't working. I think, where is it? I've got it on here somewhere. because I ended up changing the name afterwards. Where is it? It was sometime last year, wasn't it? Ah, yes, this one right here. June 14th. I changed the name to Composer Fails while trying to teach jazz, but shares important lesson anyways. This basically, what this was, is it started off as a live stream where I was supposed to teach you how to do a big band jazz style arrangement, because I've done that for soundtracks before, but it had been a while since I'd done one, and in this live stream, nothing works. Like, nothing goes right. Nothing I try works. It all just fails. And it ended up being a live stream of like how to deal with failure, how to deal with when none of your strategies, none of your reliable things are actually working out. But yeah, so thank you for reminding me of that, Jack. It is a good memory. I do enjoy it. Now I can look back on it, but it was mortifying at the time. I believe I say that in the live stream. Like, I'm so sorry. I am so mortified right now. But that's the cool thing about going live, is that it's not always going to be cool. It's kind of interesting just seeing what you get. Douglas, can't wait for the tortilla video. Honestly, neither can I. All right. I have had, listen, all right, I am very proud of my tortilla recipe. I am very proud of it. It was my abuelita's recipe. I spent years mastering it while I was one of her caregivers. And to this day, I have yet to meet anyone who makes better tortillas than me. Like today, I told you, I went to a Mexican restaurant before running this. My friend, her aunt owns it. Oh, the food was amazing. Incredible. Best Mexican food I've had in the area. Which is saying something, because there are some amazing Mexican foods in the area. And at this restaurant, they make everything handmade. And yet, as I ate the tortillas, I was sort of like, mine are better. All right, so I'm excited to show you guys. That'll be fun. And that is a promise I made a couple years ago, I think, at this point. So I do have to stick up with it. Can't wait for the tortilla. Tamashi, today is Holi. It's a festival of colors. Happy Holi, everyone. Hey, happy Holi. Tamashi, I wonder if Tamashi, are you living alone? Is this your new home? No. I'm still living with my roommate. So what ended up happening is my roommate actually bought a house, and to help with mortgage, and because it would be cheaper than staying in the place I was staying in, which was like $2,000 a month, which is ridiculous. There was no reason for it to be that much. I'm renting space from him. So we've been roommates for a long time. We've been best friends since first grade. So it's a good arrangement. Works well. I'm glad that the money is going to him. But yeah, so that's the new arrangement right now. I tell Bread, is your book available anywhere in hardback or paperback? Yes, it is, my friend. Thank you for an opportunity to advertise myself. All right, bookshop. All right, notice everything's on sale. Everything is 20% off for the entire month to celebrate 6 years, including Emotions of Music class. I'm putting this right here, 20% off with the code 6 years. All right, so normally this is a class that comes with 3 private lessons. All right, 3 private lessons, 6 modules of material, 51 articles, videos, etc. And this is all about my methods for portraying literally any emotion you could possibly need to portray, but with music. Check out the information. It is 20% off, so it's normally $250. It is currently $200, thanks to if you use the coupon code, to celebrate 6 years, which this class very rarely, if ever, goes on sale. So it's on sale for the month. And there are payment plans available. You can pay it all in one chunk. You can pay for it in like installments. There are plans. This class, and when you buy the class, you get access to all future upgrades too. I'm currently working on a massive overhaul where I'm just adding a bunch of material to the class, where it will no longer be about just emotions and music. It's going to be specifically about storytelling with music. So this is 20% off, but your question was specifically about my book. Yes, The Musical Storyteller is available in paperback on Amazon. Click this link right here, or you can look up, if you look up, where is it? Let's see here. The Musical Storyteller. Right here, yeah. So if you just look up the title of the book, Musical Storyteller, right here. It's a physical copy, more expensive than it is on my website, just because it is a physical copy and it's sold through Amazon. But you get an EPUB and ebook version, so you get like a PDF and an EPUB version, so you can put it on your e-readers and stuff, and you can get those on my website. But yes, there are physical copies available on Amazon, and if you do get a copy of my textbook, consider joining the channel as a channel member. Like I said, $5 a month. Right now, every week we're doing live streams where we go through this book one chapter at a time. This link right here will take you to Amazon, and this link right here will take you to a table of contents that shows you everything that gets covered. The table of contents is 13 pages long, people. This is a beefy book, 400 pages long, and it's guided to say basically like a class. If you start with knowing nothing, chapter 1 teaches you how to start reading music notation, and by the very end, you're polishing and mixing your professional grade arrangements of orchestral music. But just because it's got an orchestral focus doesn't mean that it's not useful for other genres. This is genre neutral. All the tools discussed can be worked with any kind of music. Electronic music, songwriting, film music, video game music, any kind of genre that you are interested in. So that answers that question. But yes, it's only available in paperback at the moment. Jack also enjoying that old stream. Good. Tamashi, sound design and working with samples is tough in Cubase. Is there a plugin for recording a sound playing in Cubase? Like in FL Studio, we have Edison, in which is recorded anything you are doing in your DAW. That's a good question. You could probably just set up. That's not something I do a lot of. What happened? I know that Cubase has a sampler track where you can drag your audio in, but yeah, Cubase is more geared towards kind of like film scoring than electronic music. Doesn't mean that you can't use it, but yeah, I'd say you would just probably need to set up like a microphone. Like if I put this in here and start recording, yeah, see, it's picking up my voice right now as I'm talking. So you can see how the little waves are up. Let's listen to it. Yeah, see, it's picking up my voice right now as I'm talking. So yeah, you could do stuff like that. I have a audio box, so it's not stereo recording. But yeah, so there are ways to do it. Even more errors. What errors are we talking about? I don't know. Douglas, the big band stream was actually good, as every one of us has had those days when nothing is working. You demonstrated how to get through it without destroying anything. Wonderful. See, yeah, I feel like I've done enough of these live streams that I'm able, things I have learned from these live streams. I have learned how to very rapidly come up with musical ideas that can work. I have learned how to very rapidly fix things and answer questions. I have learned how to think on my feet a lot, and I have learned tremendously how to work well under pressure, because there is a lot of pressure when there are like a dozen people watching you, and then soon to be hundreds who watch the recording. It can be a little nerve-wracking at times if you say you can do something and then it's not working out. But thank you. Tamashi, is there any homework or assignment at the end of the members only live stream? Yeah, we go through the textbook. So basically like the assignments that come from the textbook. And then if you attend the stream or like message me ahead of time, I can answer questions and do stuff live as well. Tuesday is Tamashi, 2K a month is literal robbing. Oh, you're talking about the old apartment. Yeah, it was a townhouse, so we had like a basement, living room, a couple bedrooms. Like it was a 3-bedroom for like office space and stuff. No, yeah, the housing prices are ridiculous at the moment. Yeah, my roommate is a private practitioner therapist. He owns his own private practice. He does pretty well. He's the dude that I do the podcast with. So I did one season of a podcast so far. We've got a little bit of a second season recorded, but unfortunately his schedule, since he's growing his practice, has gotten too crazy. So I might have to start doing the podcast by myself, or just revisit the format or something. But yeah, he's the dude who does the podcast with me. Really cool dude. Like I said, we've known each other since first grade. We get along really. We're more brothers and family than friends. Spitfire Audio is having a trailer rescore challenge of Albion Colossus. Have you tried scoring a trailer or an ad? Any tips if you want? I haven't actually. I haven't really done a lot of advertisements of trailer music. It's just never really been my thing, unfortunately. I like telling stories with music, and for whatever reason, with trailer music, the idea of like writing library music just never kind of tickled my fancy. Nothing wrong with it, just not what I like. So unfortunately, I would not be the person to ask about that. Let's work. It looks like I'm caught up on the comments. Let's work on some stuff, shall we? Let's add a little bit of movement to these chords, shall we? Let's do this. Make it a staccato. Let's do... Nah, I don't like that. Let's see here. So it's about here. I like that. I think that's a good rhythm. And then we'll do an eighth note at the end, I think. Let's mute the melody real quick. Just so we can hear the rhythm. Yep, I like that. Then we'll make these 30-second notes. Or 16th notes, just to get a nice crisp sound. Excellent. All right, so here we go here. Try bichord Virium Composer. So Virium Composer probably helping Tamashi. I'm assuming. Let's chop these in half. I like the idea of having everything be a little more staccato, except for the long one. And then this is an E minor. So what I want to do is just to make things a little easier. I think it'll be quicker to just do this. You know what? What happens if we do a little chromaticism? What if we made this an E major? Let's just see what it sounds like. Don't know if I like that. You know what? Okay, so these chords are bothering me a little bit. Let's back up a little bit. Let's remove the rhythmic elements of the chord so far. Let's do the bass line first. But I do want to see how this would sound with... Let's try this again. Nah, I don't like that. Let's see if anywhere else works. Let's try a D major, shall we? So anytime you take a minor chord in a chord progression and you make it major, it's going to result in a dramatic and bright quality. So the question is, does that fit for what we're going for? Let's try this. I like that. So I teleport to bed. When composing a melody from an underlying chord, how can one write a counter melody which is consonant with both the original melody and underlying chord? Excellent question. It really comes down to one golden rule. I will say, if you would like to learn more, look up Tabletop Composer. Counterpoint. This video right here will teach you everything you need to know. I also have a blog post you can read through if you'd like. it'll teach you everything you need to know. All right. Counter melodies, but for the most part, anytime multiple notes are articulated at the same time. So articulated means they start at the same point. So these notes are articulated. These notes are not. So I'm talking about the melody and chords. So I should say these two notes articulated at the same time. These two are not. They are played at the same time, but these two notes start at a different metric point. All right, this one starts on the off beat. On the beat number 2. This one starts on beat number 1. These two both start at beat number 1. The trick to writing a counter melody that's going to work is just to make sure every single time multiple notes articulate at the same time, they're going to be performing a consonant interval. So if you were here earlier, I teleported back, you'll notice that the way I came up with this melody, just take these 4 chords. Oops. What's going on here? It's something Cubase never used to do before I upgraded my computer. So I got my chord progression. The way I usually write my melodies when I need to speed read is I'll start with my chord progression and I will start with 2 notes from each chord progression. This is a E minor. So here we have the basic shape of my melody. And if I wanted, next step I would do is I just add a little bit of rhythm. All right, and then let's repeat that same basic rhythm. So now we have a little rhythm. And now I can adjust these a little bit. So now I have my melody. There's my melody. If I wanted to write a counter melody that works with the chords and the melody, I just follow the same exact process. All right, so let's copy and paste this. I'd say, all right, 2 chords per measure again. Here we go. Let's see, let's start with C this time. Let's stick with C here. We got an F there. We'll go A. Go D, E. And so let's color these a little bit, shall we? So we can see the difference. Say this is alto. So now they're color coded, and again, add some rhythm. Your counter melody should be a little less interesting than your primary melody. All right, so, and now we'll go through articulation points. Yeah, these form a consonant interval. That's a major third. They work. And again, the kind of underlying premise is if they're both chordal tones, they'll work. C and G, perfect 5th. These 2 don't matter because they're not articulated at the same point. These 2, it's a 6th. It'll still work. Perfect 5th, we're good. Doesn't matter. Perfect 5th works. Doesn't matter. Perfect. It's a major. A major 6th. Doesn't matter. Perfect 4th. Doesn't matter. And then perfect 5th. Plus an octave. And then we can just hear how it works together. super simple. I mean, how long did that take me? 3 minutes? A lot of music. Here's something I'll say. A lot of stuff with music. Just like a lot of struggles people have with composing music comes down to choice paralysis. You just don't know what you're supposed to do. There are so many different directions you can run in, and you just don't know which one to follow. All right? And you get so stuck up on trying to have something perfect. One of the reasons why I can write stuff like this so quickly on a live stream is because I don't care. I don't care if this is the best thing I've ever written. I don't care if it's good enough. I just need it to work. I just need it to work like a homework assignment. It needs to function. And that's what this does. Is it the best thing I've ever written? Obviously not. But it works. Honestly, it's a little catchy. I kind of like it. But the reason why I'm able to do it is because I have systems in place. I have workflows. All right? When a carpenter makes a chair, that carpenter doesn't have to reinvent what a chair is every single time. When a... I don't know, I'm bad at examples. But yeah, let's just stick with the carpenter. Anytime a carpenter creates a chair, they don't have to reinvent what a chair is. Anytime an electrician works on wiring a house, they don't have to reinvent what a house is. Anytime a mechanic works on a car, they don't have to reinvent a process for fixing a car. Because these are crafts. All right? They are skilled trades. It's the same with music. It's the same with the arts in general. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. It's helpful. That being able to reinvent something and make it new is what differentiates an artistry from a craftsmanship. But honestly, being able to just create something that works, by the very nature, the fact that you're making it, you will put your voice into it. So for example, this little shape. This is one that if you follow my live streams, you can go through. This little shape just tends to be one of my defaults. When I'm picking chordal tones, my melodies almost always have this little shape somewhere in them. Start on a note, move up, move down to another chordal tone, move up to another chordal tone. That's a shape that appears in like 8 out of 10 of my melodies. Just because it's something that I subconsciously default to and something I've noticed over time. Doesn't mean all my melodies sound the same. And how did I get started on this? I don't know. ADHD is hitting like a truck today. Anyway, basically, if you want to get better at composing, if you want to get better at writing music of any genre, you need to start figuring out your workflows. You need to start treating it like a craft. All right? You need to have a process. The processes I share on this YouTube channel are ones that I have developed myself that work really well for me. And that I hope also work really, really well for you. But I also say once you develop a process, you can change it. You can develop my methods. My approach for writing melodies have definitely changed over the years. Sometimes they get more complicated. Sometimes they get simpler. Most of the time, they start off super complicated. Then the more I use them, the more I realize how to streamline them. So like this little sample, which I actually kind of like a little bit. I mean, how long did it take me to create the chord progression? Well, this was a copy and paste, wasn't it? Yeah, so the chord progression, but even when I wrote this over here, this didn't take long. And writing layerable melodies, layerable ideas, it took like what? You guys watched this like 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops? Because I have a process. I don't overthink it. I don't stop and think, all right, is this measure good enough? That's one that I get a lot with my students. My students will talk about like the motif. Here's my motif. All right, that motif. Mute that for a second, listen to it again. Is that a good enough motif? I don't know. Of course you don't know. Beethoven's Fifth, bum, 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 bum. Is that a good enough motif? Just hearing that one thing, even if you hadn't heard of it before, it's impossible to tell if your motif is good enough. It's impossible to tell if your beat is good enough. It's impossible to tell if your chord progression is good enough. What's going to determine if it's good enough isn't this one little element. It's not this one little tiny parameter in your music. What determines if this is a good idea is what you do with it. All right? This motif, which you turn into a melody, which you turn into a theme, which you turn into a part of a larger piece. What do you do with it? If you're constantly stopping every 5 steps saying, is this good enough? Is this good enough? Or I don't know if this is good enough. That's honestly how I hear it more often. So many of my students are like, hey, I was coming up with this idea, but I didn't finish it because I didn't think it was good enough. Bruh. How do you know it's good enough? How do you know it's not good enough? You don't. You just didn't do anything with it because you were a little nervous, all right? 2 things that will level up every single composer, all right? If you want to become the best composer you can possibly be, 2 things right now, all right? Listen, pay attention, all right? 2 things you can do right now that you can work on that will instantly make you a significantly better composer. 1, stop caring if your music's good enough. All right, just write. All right, stop caring. Don't worry about getting judged. Don't worry about whether it's going to sell. Don't worry about whether it's going to be cool for the soundtrack. Stop worrying. Just write. All right? Because the composer who writes 1 piece every month that they're happy with is never going to be able to beat the composer who's cranking out something every single day. All right? What was like Bruce Lee who said that he doesn't fear the man who's practiced 1,000 kicks. He fears a man who's practiced a kick 1,000 times. Just get good at your process. Because that's number 2. Number 2 is figure out your process, figure out your systems. So this was a system. What was the process I just shared with you guys? All right. Tabletops. Process for writing melodies. All right. Start with a chord progression. And guess what? I have a process for chord progressions too. But that's not what we're doing right now. Start with a chord progression. Pick 2 chordal tones per measure. Follow a melodic structure or pattern. Typically, the most melodies, like 90% of melodies in the world, are going to come down to either sentence structure, period structure, or sequencing structure. And this is regardless of culture. These just tend to be the patterns human beings in general hear in music. But you can invent your own too, as long as you have a pattern, as long as you have a reason, a structure that you have in your head for what your melody's going to work. A pattern is what makes it sound musical. Then add rhythm following that structure. And then adjust with non-chordal tones to your rhythm. So I did here. These 5 little steps. Watch, I'll do it again. I won't even use chords this time. All right? Watch this. All right? Bum, bum. That's our idea. Now let's do period structure. So we'll come up with something. And then we will repeat the original idea. All right. So here I have my main idea. Let's listen to it so far. All right, so now let's add a little bit of rhythm to it. Now, what was this over here? And these are just kind of little random rhythms. It's not entirely random. I'm following certain principles that I've picked up with rhythm over the time. Nothing crazy. I'm basically saying, all right, these 2 ideas have to have similar rhythmic ideas because of the structure. I'm also using that longer note values at the end of a phrase or an idea help slow down energy, where shorter ones will build it. A lot of things. A lot of these tools, again, and let's stretch this one out. Let me just add a little bit of variation. And then we have our melody. And then if I really wanted to legitimize it as a melody, I could just add a new idea underneath here. And I'll just add a very simple bass line using the principles for counterpoint that we just talked about earlier, or the one principle of counterpoint. This is an F. Let's listen to it. And I would probably just, if I wanted to end on the G. I didn't worry about the chords. I didn't worry about the key. I didn't worry about any of that. All I had to do was pay attention to my structure, my flow, my workflow. Craftsmen have plans. Craftsmen have workflows. They have strategies. They don't go into a project having no idea what the first step is. If you want to be a craftsman with your music, if you want it to be your craft and not just a hobby or just kind of something you do for fun, if you want to be good at this and you want to improve, those are the two things you need to do. Figure out your workflow and then get over yourself. All right? Get past this need to have good enough ideas. You don't need them to be good enough. You just need them to be functional. All right? Now, guess what? You can do all of this. You can find it out on your own. My website has lots of good resources. My YouTube channel has lots of good resources. But you know what else is a fantastic resource and probably the best resource, in my opinion? My textbook. All right, everything. This one right here. Everything is on sale on my website to celebrate 6 years of tutorials. All right, everything 20% off on my website, including my class on emotions and music, which comes with 3 private lessons. All right, and currently right now, thanks to the 20% off code, purchasing the class, the 3 lessons you'll get would be cheaper than buying the 3 private lessons by themselves. So check it out, grab it. You have 90 days from the point of so you have 3 months from purchasing the class to schedule your first lesson. So you don't have to do it right away. If you don't think you're gonna have time anytime soon, and then if you buy it and you have 3 months and you're like, all right, I still haven't got my schedule's still not open, you can always reach out and ask for an extension. That's fine. As long as you communicate, we're good. Check it all out. Everything's on sale for the rest of the month because of the 6-year anniversary. But yeah, like I said, if you do get the textbook, consider becoming a channel member because we are moving through this chapter book together. 1 chapter per week. And right now would be a really good chance to get it because we are only on chapter 6. We just did chapter 6 on Wednesday. All of the live streams are available on for rewatch. So you can check them out. Yeah, where am I saying all this? So it would be a quick time. It wouldn't take long for you to get caught up on the first 6 chapters. And then the next live stream on Wednesday, we'll go through chapter 7 together. I gotta get caught up on comments. Let's see here. Okay, so very maybe less jolly, positive. Unknown, why is this so positive? I've got good energy today. I'm feeling good today. I'm glad you're finding it useful though. Tamashi, the moment I make a choice in music or something in sound design, I get an anxiety like, what if I'm wrong? How to deal with it? How to deal with it, Tamashi? The best way to deal with it, in my experience, is just say, who cares? All right, to just acknowledge, yes, I might be wrong, but who cares? Yeah, this might be a crap idea, but who cares? Honestly, a good F it attitude has gotten me through so much. I have dealt with so much, so much imposter syndrome. Especially because I don't have a music degree. Y'all, I have a 22-page curriculum vitae. All right, for those of you who don't know, a curriculum vitae is like a resume. But it lists all of your accomplishments and all things you've done. Mine is 22 pages long, which is pretty good for a musician. It's pretty good for anyone. I have a 22-page curriculum vitae of all the things I have done. And I still get told I'm not supposed to be a musician. I still get told I'm not supposed to be in programs. I still get told that I'm not supposed to be doing what I do. because there are these invisible little gatekeepy ideas. There's so many people out there who feel like because they couldn't do it, you shouldn't be allowed to. All right. And that's just bullcrap. It's not true. And so at some point, if you want to make progress, you just have to take that attitude of, I don't care. I don't care if you don't think I'm good enough. I don't care if this idea is not good enough. What I care about is that I want to do this. This brings me a sense of meaning to my life. So I'm going to do it. So yeah, if you have an idea and you're writing a piece of music and you're like, I don't care. You can learn from bad things. We were just talking about this earlier. So many of my live streams have just been flubs, or like a flop where I tried writing something and it didn't work out, or I just had bad energy or whatever was going on. I was just tired and it just didn't work out. It's fine. It's fine. People still come to the next live stream, right? If you write a bad piece of music, what's the worst that's going to happen? All right, you wrote a piece that wasn't your best. Okay, cool. You got that out of the way. Now you can work on something better, right? You're going to have bad ideas. It's inevitable. All right, not every single idea can be booyah after booyah. All right, you're going to have bad times. That's inevitable. So just stop wallowing it. Just say, allow yourself the freedom to make bad ideas. All right, allow yourself the freedom to make mistakes. Allow yourself the freedom to write crappy music. All right, because you learn so much from the crappy music. If you write a piece and you're like, I don't like this and I don't know why, but then you take a week or two off and your ears get fresh and you listen like, oh, okay, yeah, it was muddy. There's too much going on. And so then you take out, you're like, all right, I don't need that rhythmic bass line. I just need something simple in the background. Probably don't need 5 hi-hats or whatever you're doing. You can remove a bunch of stuff. He's like, whoa, don't know what I was thinking about with that reverb. Whatever it is, get rid of it. And you're like, oh, the core thing is not, it's actually pretty good. I kind of like the basic idea. All right, so allow yourself the freedom to not be perfect all the time. That's what I say. A good, nice, healthy, I don't care attitude works wonders in music. That would be my recommendation, Tamashi, is if you start working on an idea and you're like, is this idea good enough or not? Just tell yourself, who cares? It's my idea. I'm going to work with it. All right, that's what I would recommend. Virium, I don't use the expression parameter because I think it removes intensity from the sound without any reason. What do you think about this tabletop? I would disagree. I use expression the same I would use dynamics, which is very similar to modulation. I use expression to basically set like my dynamic marker of like mezzo forte. And then if there are specific notes in my sample library that just like if it hits too hard or something, I'm like, all right. It's the sample. It's just the way it was recorded. It's got a really sharp attack. So I'm going to just add a very quick dip to kind of take off that initial couple seconds and make it smooth. I'd say expression works very well. Expression data is useful for, I think, setting dynamics and adding corrections, whereas modulation data can be used to bring more of a performance to your volume, if that makes sense. I've done live streams about MIDI mockups and stuff like that. Like Jack hitting the hardest, bruh, of 2025 was not on my bingo card. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like a little passionate today. I'm feeling energetic today, probably because I've had so much caffeine, and it's just been a good day for me so far. Good. Yeah, right. Says, ha, I feel spoken to. Good. Yes, I am speaking to you. All right. I'm speaking to all of you right now. All right. I have gone through so much crap trying to build my career for myself. And so it's really cool to have a place like this where I can help validate other people and just kind of get a little validation myself. I teleported bread. How long can a melody be for it to still be considered a motif? I always thought that a motif should always be between 6 to 10 notes long. Can a melody be multiple bars and still be considered a motif? So a motif is a basic idea. A motif isn't so much about length, but yeah, most of them will typically be about 2 bars or less in length. But a motif is just an idea that's used to build others. So here I have a 2-bar motif. Then I have a new idea. Then I repeat the original. Look at this. Same idea, just a little bit different, a little variation. Then I have another new idea. And then the whole thing gets repeated. So motifs, if you want a much more in-depth tutorial, one of my older videos from my playlist on melody writing, Melody for Composers Part 1, How to Write a Strong Motif, goes in depth on what a motif is and how to build one. Motifs are usually just short little ideas, though. They can be anywhere from a beat or 2 in length to a couple bars. Jack, all right, let's listen to this idea. Cuts to ad. Well played, too. Oh, I always forget that there are ads on my live streams. It's annoying. Jeanette, thank you for the hearts. Unknown, how do you go from one melody to structuring music? Intro, peak, chorus, verse, bridge to transition. Very simple. So structure, I think I've talked about the structure of music. Musical structure slash form. There's multiple definitions here, but the one we're going to work with today is just the number and order of different themes in your music. All right, so let's say you want to do a typical AABA structure. This is very common in song structure. You've got a verse, second verse, refrain, verse. What did this say? All right, you need a theme A, and you need a theme B. All right, and then once you have theme A, you just need to repeat it in the proper order. I've done streams on this, haven't I? Tabletop composer. Phrase structure to turn CRs and melodies. I swear I did a live stream about musical structure at one point. But yeah, so if you have a musical structure, it's basically just the number and order of themes in your music. This can be determined by a story you're telling. So in film music, the structure of your music doesn't come from predetermined structures. It comes from a story and the scene that you're accompanying. Songs will typically have typical structure. So what did you say? Intro, peak, chorus, verse, bridge, transition. If you have an idea for your structure, if you figure out structure ahead of time, you will know how many themes you need to write. You also know which order those themes need to appear in. And of course, where your transitions will be. That information goes a very long way. This is why I'm a huge proponent of planning ahead of time. All of my structures are all literally just about planning, brainstorming. So I think the biggest I've ever done was like for one of the plays, I believe it was the play titled The Bridge. I wrote like 98 pages of notes before I wrote any music. I did like character reports where I broke down different characters. I took notes during conversations with the director, with the playwright. I did everything I did to try and get as much inspiration as I possibly could so that when it was time to write the music, I already knew what I wanted to do. And again, not to keep advertising myself, but your boy needs to eat. Your boy has bills to pay. Check it out. This textbook right here literally will give you a guide to all of my most of my strategy. This textbook contains my approach to writing chord progressions, to improving chord progressions, to writing melodies and improving them, to structuring full-length pieces of music, to inventing your own structures to follow a story or a scene, to create themes that portray characters, emotions, and worlds. That's literally in the name, translating worlds, characters, and emotions into music. My approach for orchestrating and arranging and sketching and mixing. This textbook has basically all of my most important, most reliable structures, and it teaches you all of the music theory you need to know to actively apply them. And again, it organizes all of it into 35 cumulative chapters. It's got very good reviews, as you can see here and on Amazon. This link will take you to Amazon if you want a physical copy, but the physical copies are more expensive, and I'm only able to control the price for sales on my website. Everything is on sale for the month, including, like I said, Emotions in Music class. Right now, if you wanted private lessons, like I said, since this class comes with 3 private lessons, they don't have to be spent on the class material. But this would probably be the best deal on the website right now, is 3 private lessons plus all of the class material for $200, which you can get, you can pay all at once, or there are payment plans. You can split it into 2 payments or 3 payments. Advertisements. Let's see here. And you did pay attention to the key, though, obviously, C major. Yeah, right. You did pay attention to the key, though, obviously, C major. Yeah, I guess it is in C major, although it could be modal because it ends. I think I just stuck to C major out of habit. I could have definitely gone out of key. I don't think it is necessarily in C major, though. This could be either a C major chord, or it could be an A minor chord. And there's also the weird thing that it ends on a G, which could be ending on a half cadence for C major. It's very likely in C major, but it could be all kinds of modes. This one is definitely C major because I started off the key chord progression. But yeah, so yeah, you can pay attention to key. There are all kinds of decisions you can make. The beautiful thing about having a structure is you can put as much thought or lack of thought into your process as you would like. Flimflamery, are your private lessons on sale as well? Technically, yes, but no. So the private lessons themselves, if you pay for the bundle of private lessons, those are not on sale. But like I said, the emotions and music class comes with 3 private lessons. So this is technically private lessons on sale. Use this coupon code to buy the class. And then I've had people pay for the class, and then they actually didn't want to use the private lessons on the class. I've been told that the class is very self-explanatory. I've been told that it works really well, that people don't really need the lessons to go with it. And so lots of people will say like, hey, instead of that, can we just do like 3 master classes on orchestration? Or like, hey, can you help me? Okay, so literally I've had like the trippiest I've had a lot of trippy private lesson experiences, but one of them was a student at Berkeley who just needed me on camera while he worked on his final project, which was a lot of fun for me. Those are really cool lessons as well. But no, yeah, you get 3 private lessons. They're on sale, like I said, 20% off technically. So if you buy this, you would get the 3 private lessons with it, and you could spend it on any topic that you would like. But the actual lessons themselves, I just don't have that set up on the website at the moment where like you say, hey, I want private lessons. Can I get 3 of them? I guess if you wanted to, if you were really confident that I am the teacher that you want, and you were really confident, like, hey, I know I want 10 lessons, and I know I want them with this guy, you could buy the class multiple times. I don't know why someone would do that. I mean, I think I'm a good teacher, but if you feel very strongly, you could do that, and I would not say no, honestly. Like I said, you boys got to eat. So let's see here. Douglas, knowing what not to do is as important as knowing what to do. Also, once you have written something, you can edit and make it better. Yes, I completely agree. That's something I'm always telling my students. Just get something down. I think that was a video I did recently. I did a video about like writer's block, which was technically an edit from a previous live stream, where I talked about, yeah, when I'm faced with writer's block and I have like something where I have a deadline coming up for like a project, I will default to just this method of just write something that works. I'll say, all right, screw it. This took me like, what, 3 minutes? And then I do like this idea. I might turn this into something. This was the stupid little example about how to write counter melodies that work, that don't clash. And I actually think I like the main motif. I like this motif a little bit. I think I'm going to do something with it. But what was that? Douglas was talking about, oh yeah, just having something. So I will default to this and I'll do numbers. If quality isn't happening, if it's just not happening, I'm like, all right, motivation's not here, inspiration's not here, quality's not happening. You better believe that when quality is lacking, I will fight with quantity. I have done that so many times. Like on soundtracks, I'm like, I can't come up with this character theme. I'm like, all right, forget it. I have a basic description of what I want it to be. I'm going to crank out 10 themes. 10 themes, I'm going to crank them out as quickly as possible. Treat it like a homework assignment where I don't care about the artistry. I just need something that works. And then the following day, I'll say, all right, let's go listen to those 10 pieces. All right, I'll listen to it every single time. It's never failed me that at least one of them is like, oh, hold up, this is actually kind of good. This could actually fit the character. Or at the very least, it's like, all right, this one sounds like it's almost there. Let me fix it. Let me adjust it, change this, change that, and boom, I've got my character theme. So yeah, again, stop looking at it as an artistry and more of a craft or a skill. I mean, even Mozart said that there's a quote from Mozart saying that people will tell him that they've never met someone with talent like his. He's like, yeah, well, I'll also tell you there's never been anyone I've ever met who's put as much time into my craft as me. Like Mozart says, like, yeah, he was obviously a prodigy, but prodigies aren't that rare. In fact, the vast majority of prodigies, if you ever do, really, I love psychology. I love the study of prodigies. It's fascinating because the vast majority of prodigies don't actually end up being that skilled. Prodigies are basically a hack for starting at a level that you're not supposed to start at. But if you don't keep grinding, if you don't keep leveling up, eventually the people on the lower levels will pass you. And typically, prodigies don't become experts, and most experts don't start as prodigies. And so to become that level of artist, you need to first become a craftsman. So really, like I said, those 2 things. really hone on your workflow and your approach to composing, and really, really focus on fostering a nice, healthy, I don't care attitude of, I don't care if this is really cool. I don't care if this is not the best idea. I'm just going to write because I like writing. All right. I don't care if this is good enough. I've got the idea. I'm going to at least see it through, and then I'll move on to something better. Right? So Douglas says, thank you for another fabulous Friday. I have to take off. See you next week. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. This was a lot of fun. I actually think I will also call it here, people. I had a lot of fun. This was a very good stream for me. I hope it was a very good stream for you guys as well. I had a lot of fun. We never really finished this idea. Maybe we'll come back to it next week or something. Again, one last reminder. Celebrating 6 years of YouTube with a sale. Everything on my website, 20% off. If you get the textbook, consider becoming a channel member. $5 a month, and you get another live stream every single week that you get access to, where we are going through this textbook one chapter at a time together. We've gone through 6 chapters so far, so it's not too late. You can still jump in and catch up. We're doing a lot of fun stuff. Last Wednesday's stream was a lot of fun for me. Check that out. And Emotions and Music class. Right here, 20% off with the code 6 years. This right here is the coupon code. Use this at checkout. You get the class, and you get three private lessons, all cheaper than what you would normally get for the 3 private lessons together. Normally $250. The price with the 20% off is just $20, and there are payment plans available. Take advantage of it while it's available, people, because this class in particular and private lessons just never really go on sale. I think this is the second time in the history of the class, which has been around for 2 years now, that it's gone on sale. And it's to celebrate 6 years of YouTube. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this beautiful, beautiful day. So I'll see you all next week, and I will see the channel members on Wednesday. All right? Bye-bye.